Hello everybody, welcome back to From Rhythm to Algorithm. We continue on with our derivation. So today was working out in the sun doing some mulching, and I thought to myself, wow, I am doing labor. I am a laborer. Sensorality is laborality, right? Work is labor. Again, working through our linguistics, the syllable is the fundamental unit. It represents irreducibility linguistically. Coming to completion of what sensorality is by establishing a fundamental definition. To establish that definition, we find completable syllability, the shapes representing the syllables. Moving through our derivation, sensorality is laborality. Sensorality is laborerality. Again, some of the linguistic constructions, what look like words, or just look like amalgamations, just things stuck together, is again the syllability. We just have to get this unique syllability in order to derive our definition, what is sensorality. But labor is work. Again, labor ending in OR, a laborer. You kind of get that OR to ER. Just moving through our steps. Tensing, tension. Tensing, tenses. Tension, tenses. Again, geometrically, we kind of line up these theorems, but the shapes or the letters are shapes. And so the difference between tension and tensing is that ing and the ion, emphasizing the word form. What is power to density? Power is energy we sensorality is density velocity. So we had, again, just expanding our word forms. There's no point even we just moving through. Momentum diminishes. Diminishing lessens. Sensorality is sensational energy. What is movement to censorship? Censorship, sportsmanship. What is movement to sensation? What is energy to sensation? Does sensation have movement potential? Sensorality is good sportsmanship. Sensorality is gamesmanship. Again, these word forms with ship at the end. I have nothing else to say but pointing it out. Again, there's just this clear analytical elementality. These syllables fit in here, and there's literally nothing else for me to say, but it has the same quality as completing ordinality or proving A and E are inverses. It's just the same feeling. It's the same analytical quality. So I pointed out. What is sensation to censorship? Again, breaking down sensorality to these irreducible elements and rearranging them in a way that gives us our completable section of syllability. Pleasure is sensational. Sensorality senses pleasure. Pleasure pleases. Sensorality pleases. Pleases please. Say your please and thank you. Thank yous. What is the base of please? Ease, right? And so now we're back to this fundamental identity, EZ, literally a direct iteration of the sound E. If you spell it, well, we'll get here in a second, but the EASY is the accepted American English spelling, but please is based on ease. Please is easy, right? It's easy to be polite. It is easy to say your please and thank yous. Natural definition. Please is easy. Energy is easy. Connecting syllability. Sensorality is sleazy, right? Easy, sleazy, and now the S goes to a Z. And so again, another one of these clear iteration elements, the S and the Z from English to American English. What is an accepted spelling in England is a lot of these have these S forms where Americans would put Z's. But Z is the last letter of the alphabet, and we're showing again 7, but it's 7. Units, and then it reiterates or it iterates or it repeats or something. Again, there's bounding. Both at the minimum, our fundamental stability of 2, and 7, our iteration limit, is what I've been calling it. But easy is easy, directly iterating the S and Z explicitly. Gratitude is easy. Sensorality is easy with the Z spelling. What is attitude to gratitude? What is gratitude to fortitude? Sensorality is longitudinal, right? We have a longitudinal study is what pops into my head where I heard that phrasing. What is latitude to longitude? I pose the question, can I even answer it myself? Which one's latitude, which one's longitude? I always fuck this up. Longitude is long. It's going around the equator, north or south, is your longitudinal lines. Latitude is vertical. I'm pretty sure. I'll put it in the editing. We'll see if I got it right. But another fundamental dichotomistic pair acknowledged within the species outside of me explicitly. Longitude is long. Natural definition. What is latitude to attitude? What is latitude to lateral? Is athleticism hard work? Again, for historical explicitness. Again, science team, you see what I watch and don't watch. I never watch my old stuff. But we said we're going to define athleticism. So what is it? And then I said something to the effect of, it's rhythmic motion. But is athleticism hard work? What is athleticism to cynicism? Are athletes cynical? Who knows? Playing games all day and competing over nothing. Does that affect behavior? Oh no, definitely. There's no I in team, but then everyone's like selfish as shit, and it's just like, how does that phrasing work into like how people actually behave? Let's go play games all day and everyone's like selfish and individualistic as shit, and nobody plays on the team, which is a direct iteration of the E and the A, our base and our inverse. And then we just project out into the world. They're all good people and we're all hardworking Americans. Or hardworking whatever shit country you come from. Who's ever watching. What is athleticism to cynicism? Sensorality is cynicality. Cyclicality, cynicality. What is cynicism to skepticism? Are skeptics cynical? What is the difference between differentiation and diversification? Right? Universe, diversify. In economics class, we diversify. We seek diversification for our assets. Emphasizing again, does the universe diversify? Yes, emphasizing again, diverse and universe. Sensorality diversifies, sensorality certifies, sensorality specifies, which is again specifies, but the pronunciation I was articulating there is specifies, and that is a natural definition. Again, there's no real axioms at this point. It's this fundamental difference, geometrically and conceptually solidified by the letters that already exist. We're just getting there conceptually. When we are running out of stuff, hopefully it's soon. But this is where I came to sensorality labors, sensorality is laborality. Natural definition, emphasizing labor is work, but also the use of delivering a baby or giving birth is labor. Geometrically, L is a line, A, B is again those one too many counting systems that's present directly in linguistics. Then we have this irreducibility of a base. A, B in that sense, or in this word labor, laborality, is a direct geometric progression, and then we have our word orality. Sensorality is laborality, and that is a direct iteration, and that is a natural definition conceptually. Laboring is working, natural definition, direct iteration. How do games work? Are games work? Play is fun. Is work fun? And so kind of arriving at a bunch or two cliches you kind of hear. Again, remember, we're connecting cliches conceptually, because not die, reproduce, think that is truly our conceptual framework that you can't break, me included, with hence all the sex jokes. Nice. And you'll see my emailing is a lot more, because I try to make this PG-13 for the most part. Maybe an episode here or there might have to be, censored for younger folk, but I try to keep this as, again, this is like the core of my work in presentation of proofing. But you'll see in my email, there's a lot more references. But is work fun? Time flies if you're having fun. If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. Therefore, work time does not fly. Right? Conceptually, or like slang, that doesn't fly. Work time doesn't fly. But also meaning it doesn't pass quickly. Right? And that's something everybody knows. Everybody's done this. You're subjected to something you don't want to do, and you say, how long, I know I've referenced this before, but you say, how long do I have to do this, or how many repetitions do I have to do this, and then you just start dividing. You say, I have to do this 4 times. Okay, I have to run 15 laps, well, I have to do 3 sets of 5 laps, or I have to do 5 sets of 3 laps. And you'll start like dividing down, so you have these smaller increments to accomplish. I specifically remember that for like, we had to pray. I went to Catholic school for grade school and high school. But we did one teacher specifically, I want to say it was Miss DeGenova. Yeah, definitely her, 8th grade. We'd have to say like a decade or decade or whatever, the 10 rosary things. And I just remember just like watching the clock, and it was just like a drag every single time. But you would just start subdividing. Same thing with like exercise. When we'd play sports, I always hated cardio because again, biologically like learning stuff. It was just like, this is just like wasting energy, wasting movement potential. And also this weird sadistic behavior of high school coaches just exerting their behavior over people they think should try hard at, the really important part of society and life, games, sports. But you'll start segmenting, and that's the next one, dividing segments. But you'll start segmenting down, and you'll have these sets. Okay, I need to do this 15 times. I need to do it 5 times, 3 times over. And you'll just keep doing it. I know you've out there. Everyone's done it. But again, just connecting cliches. Work time does not fly, meaning if time flies when you're having fun and work isn't fun, then time's not flying when you're at work. Beat that, Terrence Teo. But yeah, and so back to what is an inverse. Right, inverse is invert. So if I have a light switch right here, I turn it on and off, look at that, I'm inverting it. An inverse is a switch. And so now in that context, right, I have an inverse is a switch. So some conceptualization you might consider, carrying on with our storytelling a little bit. A YN did not listen to an RN, his OG, and put an inverse on his blick. So can you use your context clues out there for that example in today's episode of what is an inverse? A YN did not listen to an RN, his OG, and put an inverse on his blick. That is a homework assignment. And so, sensorality is segmentationality, mentation, menstruation, localization is oralization. Right? If I want to talk, I have to tighten my orality, my mouth, what that mouth do. But again, really emphasizing the geometry. Remember, like the physical motivation of what localizing is the mathematical representation of addition. Right? If you want to add something to a set, you localize it. You just put it over here, you put it over there. You can't create or destroy mass. The charge is fundamental. That dynamic stabilizes. Mass is emergent. And then that combines. Mass is moving. You have momentum. But velocity, as we said, is really like the big king whatever. For whatever reason, again, just feels like I should point that out or say that. Localization is oralization, natural definition, direct iteration. Sensorality is an orb, O-R-B. Sensorality is orbality. Again, going in order, sensorality is how absorption works. So again, back to zorb, absorb, absorption. But here, then I went right back to writing sensorality is sensorbality. Just the sensorality directly iterated by a B, natural definition, direct iteration. So again, we're just dragging along our conceptualization, saying, hey, this is what this means, this is what this means, but letters contain the information. Or when we have this containment statement, I literally even think like, what did we do? Labor, right? Workality is laborality, sensorality is laborality. Again, we're getting this base, either orality or sense, sensorality. We're like isolating the base to be contained linguistically, and then we can reduce, again, the like the packaging, the prefix and the suffix. Again, the only example of this is for speciality. For me personally, there's no, to look at it, not to look at it, doesn't matter, but I've not looked at it for what it's worth. And so that is what I have for right now. My rights continue to be violated. It is profoundly and extensively illegal. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8 of the United States Constitution is violated, as well as the Fifth Amendment. I continue to beg for a little bit of money to eat properly, to sleep properly, and to work, and to have whatever time left I have with my parents' family that is there. Because life goes by every single day, and I still do not get treated with any dignity or respect. And not in like a look at me type of way and just like, hey, you know, every time I interact with my parents' family and they don't understand what my life is, it's just pure disrespect. And I would just like that to stop. I don't expect that to happen. And all I need for that to happen is a little bit of money, truly. Not publication. I couldn't care less. I have been doing this derivation every single day at this rate since I have been forming memories. Which isn't, again, is not to say, oh, I'm sad, or oh, look at me, I'm smart. It's just, I personally have no memory of not doing this. And I've never had any experience of getting some sort of benefit. And it's directly illegal. And it's ruined my whole existence. And it's at the point where it's just like you call Tatiana Toro and she just hangs up and it's like, letters are shapes, it's already proven, here's the law. And it is. And it's just like, still we want to continue to profoundly disrespect me. We want to profoundly disrespect life. We want to profoundly disrespect science. You guys have no values and you're all a bunch of fucking clowns. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.